Perrry, Duckles, and Chase, Kyle Steinebach. My name is Chris Chichester. I live at 26 Sanders Farm Drive in Penfield. I have never committed a crime. I have a simple question. What is the name of the female prosecutor in Penfield Town Court before John P. Lomenzo Jr. that stands at a podium and doesn't talk? Correct me if I'm wrong, Perry, Kyle, and Ann. But in court, the prosecutor talks. And the reason why your colleague didn't talk is I haven't committed a crime, and that's detailed in the YouTubes that are attached. So, I sent to you on February 18th a FOIL. And its FOIL says the documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester before John P. Lomenzo Jr. Penfield Town Court. What is the name of the female prosecutor? Sandra Dorley. There's my signature. C. Chichester, JU04 Gmail. My address, 26 Sanders Farm Drive, February 18, 2020. It says clearly right there, Perry, Kyle, and Ann. What is the name of the female prosecutor? And on November 12th, I sent you the same FOIL on November 12th. So November, December, January, February, March, April. Let's see. I still don't have an answer. I still don't have an answer. So, Perry, Kyle, and since I sent you a Freedom of Information Law document demanding a simple name, that's all you have to do is give me her name. What is her name? Perry, Kyle, and Ann. This is a public proceeding. I'm going to show you again. February 18th. February 18th. Freedom of Information Law. Perry, Kyle, and Ann. You know what the key word is? Perry, Kyle, and Ann, baby in law, in a FOIL, because I've handled them in my career in Albany, Washington, D.C. The key word in a Freedom of Information Law is, wait for it, law. Do you understand that? Freedom of Information Law, FOIL, documentation for the case of Chris Chichester before John P. Lomenzo Jr. Penfield Town Court. What is the name of the female prosecutor? Sandra Dorley. February 18th. And then on November 12th, I sent this. Totally blew it off. This is a public proceeding where my rights were abridged by this 70-year-old pedophile protection racket for Daniel DeLaus III that is John P. Lomenzo Jr. Does that name, Perry, Kyle, and Ann, sound familiar? Daniel DeLaus III? Because John P. Lomenzo Jr. knows Daniel DeLaus II. And Daniel DeLaus III appeared in front of him. He doesn't recuse himself from that case. This is called a conflict of interest. So, I'm a bike rider. What's that have to do with anything, right? Well, I ride my bike down Penfield Road, and then I go on 5 Mile Line Road. And when I'm on 5 Mile, I go past Anatel Luster. And Anatel Luster is where Daniel DeLaus III was observed by witnesses trying to entice children or gain their favor with candy or some other means because he's a child rapist in Penfield. This is a Democrat and Chronicle story about this. So, he is arrested by the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. I believe that was the arresting authority. I'm guessing. I have to look at the story. I don't have that in front of me. So, he's observed by witnesses trying to entice or gain favor of children because Daniel DeLaus III is a child rapist in Penfield. And I know I don't have to tell you, Perry, Kyle, and Ann, because I will assume that since you've reached a point in your career that you're at the district attorney's office, that you have a high degree of morality. And you understand that there is no evil on planet Earth that rivals the rape of a child. So I had to appear in front of John P. Lomenzo Jr. John P. Lomenzo Jr. releases Daniel DeLaus III Because he knows Dan DeLouse II and doesn't recuse himself. Because he claims the documents were defective. That's the word in the Democrat Chronicle story. Defective. And then Dan DeLouse III is arrested again for doing the same thing. Because what does a child rapist like to do? A child rapist rapes children. So, the guy I had to appear in front of in Penfield Town Court, John P. Lomenzo Jr., is a child rapist protection racket for Daniel DeLouse III because he knows Daniel DeLouse II. Well, he released Daniel DeLouse III because of these defective documents, and I'm demanding to see them, and he's refusing to provide them to me, and now he is now retired, where he can't abridge the civil and constitutional rights of other innocent New Yorkers. So, when I'm in Penfield Town Court, Perrry, Kyle, and Ann, I stand at the podium. I don't have representation because I haven't committed a crime. And I went to Penfield Town Court, and that's the first time I've ever been in a courtroom. And I walked in the front of the Penfield Public Library, and I had been there. Because my ex-girlfriend, Laura, was hired at the Penfield Public Library when we moved to Penfield from Webster. So even though Laura works at the Penfield Public Library, I had been over there to see her, I do not know that Penfield Town Court is at the end of the hall in the library. Did George Orwell construct this little library courtroom in Penfield Town Hall, Penfield Library? A court inside a library. Have you been in this library courtroom, Perrry, Kyle, and Ann? Have you been in cases in there? Because when I worked on Capitol Hill, I used to have to walk by the U.S. Supreme Court to get to the Russell Senate Office Building to get to work. And nobody's going to confuse Penfield Town Court with the U.S. Supreme Court or the Court of Appeals in Albany. And I know you know that. A court inside a library. I walked in to the front door of the Penfield Public Library. I look at the library. I'm walking down this long hall. And I'm thinking, as an innocent man who's never committed a crime, where the hell is the courtroom? And it's to the left. And it's this little room. It is a joke. It is a star chamber. It is a farce. And that's where 70-year-old pedophile protection racket Daniel DeLouse III, John P. Lomenzo Jr. abridges the civil and constitutional rights of innocent Americans. So, Perrry, Kyle, and Ann, just please send me her name. It's a Freedom of Information law. I sent one on November 12th. Here's one on February 18th. It's a public proceeding. How can your prosecutor stand there and not talk? If a defendant is in court, the prosecutor talks. Isn't that right, Perrry, Kyle, and Ann? Doesn't the prosecutor talk in court? How is it possible that I have not committed a crime? I appear in this star chamber. The prosecutor doesn't talk, and then I'm delivered to Monroe County Jail, and it's possible because Andrew Yalley, this corrupt hack that works for Sheriff Todd Baxter, said to me before I got there, I'm not even there yet. And then after this star chamber proceeding ends, there's bald-headed Andrew Yalley, put your hands behind your back. And he says to me, quote, we decided to arrest you before you got here. So he knows he charges me with harassment second, sitting in the back seat of a Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Yeah, and you heard that right. The details of that I have explained previously, and they're in the attached YouTube. I have never committed a crime. And these fanatics and degenerates and parasites from Todd Baxter's Monroe County Sheriff's Office descended on me twice. I'm 54 years old. I know the difference between right and wrong. And in the 30 years since I was honorably discharged from 2nd Squadron, 17th Cavalry, 101st Airborne in Arizona, Fort Campbell, Kentucky, the number of times I'm arrested is zero. Because I have always known the difference between right and wrong, moral and immoral, truth and justice. Todd Baxter doesn't know the difference between right and wrong, moral and immoral, truth and justice. And neither does Sandra Dorley, your boss. Conviction Integrity Unit? Who's in charge of that Conviction Integrity Unit? By the way, that's going to be my next foil. What's it doing? It is astounding that a district attorney has to form a separate bureaucracy to police herself. Is that just public relations? It doesn't really exist. So, Perrry, Kyle, and Ann, on November 12th, 2019, I sent you a foil. And it's the same one. The date's different. So, Perrry, Kyle, and Ann, I'm going to read you this foil again. My name is Chris Chichester of the 26 Sanders Farm Drive in Penfield. So I'm going to read you this foil again, Perry Callahan. All you have to do, you look at your email. After this YouTube completes, if in fact you view this YouTube, and I hope you do, the YouTube completes. This is what you're going to do. I'm going to tell you what you do, Perry Callahan, baby. It's real simple. This YouTube finishes. I'm demanding the name of this woman. So all you have to do, tell me her name. You click reply and type her name. It's that simple. I have never committed a crime.